It was a quiet night in the military testing zone on Planet 43K. Most humans had left the underground lab, leaving only the blinking lights of machines and a few locked cabinets behind. Inside one of those cabinets was a small vial filled with a glowing blue liquid. It had a red warning label, Human Military Serum Class Do Not Drink. The serum was made for human soldiers only. It was powerful. It gave strength, speed, and increased body heat to make warriors more aggressive in battle. But it was dangerous if taken the wrong way, or by the wrong species. Cade, a young human soldier, had used the vial during his training mission, but he didn't return it yet. He placed it on a metal table and stepped out of the room to answer a radio call. That's when she slipped in. She wasn't human. The alien girl was small and thin, with glowing lavender skin and wide silver eyes. She had been hiding in the ruins nearby for days. No food, no water, no help. Her species had been wiped out during the last battle. She was alone now, afraid, hungry, and weak. She saw the lab from far and decided to sneak in. Maybe she could find food, maybe water, maybe shelter. She moved fast through the quiet halls until she saw the glowing blue vial. It looked like a drink. It was cool, glowing, and calling her like fresh water in the desert. Her hands shook as she picked it up. One quick sip. That's all she thought. She drank it all. The change was instant. Her eyes widened, her back arched. The bottle fell from her hand and shattered on the floor. Heat exploded inside her body. Her heart started racing. Her skin lit up with glowing blue lines. Her legs became strong, too strong. Her hands started pulsing with energy. Her breath became faster, deeper, heavier. She dropped to her knees, trying to hold her chest, confused by the rush. Something was happening inside her. Something not normal. Her body felt hot. Her chest rose with every shaky breath. Her skin tingled, and a strange pressure built inside her muscles, and somewhere deeper. She let out a soft cry. She didn't know what the vial was. She didn't know it was never meant for her kind. At that same moment, Cade returned to the room. He stopped in the doorway, shocked. The alien girl was on the floor. Her body was glowing. She looked scared and in pain. Then he saw the broken vial. No, Cade whispered, running toward her. What did you do? That wasn't water. She looked up at him. Her eyes were glassy, her lips slightly parted. She didn't speak, but her body leaned toward him like a magnet pulled her in. Her breath quickened just by looking at him. Cade backed away, confused. Her glowing fingers reached out and touched his arm. As soon as she touched him, a shock passed between them like a static spark, but deeper, stronger. She gasped. He pulled his arm back. The sensors in the room beeped loudly. Unauthorized contact detected. Contamination level high. The lab lights turned red. Cade quickly lifted the girl into his arms. Her body was hot to the touch, but she wasn't burning. She was changing inside and out. He knew she needed help. He also knew he was now breaking a dozen military rules. He rushed out of the lab, carrying her through a back hallway. Her arms clung to him tightly, face buried against his chest, breathing fast and heavy. She wasn't just reacting to the serum like a human would. Her alien DNA was mixing with the human formula, and it was turning into something unknown. Hang in there, he said softly. I'll figure this out. I'll help you. Just don't give up. But deep inside, he was scared too. What if she exploded? What if she attacked him? What if she changed forever? Outside the lab, the desert wind howled. Far above in orbit, Earth Command picked up the lab's alert. One human soldier, one alien girl, one broken vial. They didn't know what she had become, but they were about to find out, and not everyone wanted her to survive. The desert night was colder than usual, but her skin burned like fire. Cade had hidden her inside an old broken-down transport truck, half buried in sand. He pulled the rusted door shut, blocking the wind. The alien girl lay curled on the metal floor, glowing softly, her breath sharp and shaky. He sat across from her, watching. She hadn't said a word since he carried her out of the lab. She didn't have to. Her body was speaking louder than words. Suddenly, her back arched again. She let out a soft sound, a mix of a gasp and a growl. Her eyes opened wide, but something was different now. The silver glow inside them looked awake. Her hands clenched. Her skin shimmered with a strange blue pattern that moved, pulsing like it had a heartbeat of its own. She trembled, not in fear but in something else. Cade leaned forward carefully. "Are you all right?" She didn't answer. She couldn't, but her eyes locked onto him. She reached toward him slowly, like she was moving underwater. Her fingers brushed his arm again, and a jolt passed between them. But this time, Cade felt it too. His breath caught in his throat. It wasn't pain. It was desire. The serum had activated something deep in her. Not just strength or speed, but something primal. Something emotional. Something her species never allowed to show in public. But now, it was out of control. She crawled closer to Cade. Her movements were graceful but wild. Her skin glowed brighter the nearer she got to him. Cade backed away. "Wait, you don't know what you're feeling," he whispered, but she kept crawling. She stopped just inches from him and placed her hand gently on his chest. Her lips parted. She tilted her head, confused by her own actions. She wasn't trying to attack. She was trying to connect. Her instincts were rewriting themselves. And Cade, he was the target. He gently pulled her hand away. "This isn't you. It's the serum. Your body's changing." She blinked slowly, still breathing hard. Her body trembled with energy. She dropped to the floor again, like her muscles had burned too fast. Her fingers clenched the ground. Then, suddenly she screamed. Not from pain, but from pressure. Blue light exploded across her back. Strange ridges pushed through her skin, then flattened again, as if something inside was trying to burst out. Cade grabbed his medkit, hands shaking. "I need to slow this down." He injected a mild sedative near her neck. The glowing slowed. Her breathing slowed. Her body curled into a soft ball again. She passed out. Cade leaned back and wiped sweat from his forehead. He had no idea what he was doing. She wasn't even human. But whatever was happening inside her, it was dangerously close to something his superiors would want to control or destroy. He couldn't let them take her. Not like this. Not while she was helpless. Not while she still looked at him like he was the only thing she trusted. Suddenly, a beep on his wrist communicator lit up. A cold voice spoke. "Soldier Cade, you are not authorized to remove test subjects from Lab Site Delta. Return now, or face military court." He stared at the screen, then slowly turned it off. He had made his choice. He looked at the sleeping alien girl. Her skin still glowed faintly. Her fingers twitched in her sleep. She looked so peaceful now, so fragile. But he knew that peaceful look could change in seconds. If the serum kept pushing through her system, she might not just transform. She might break. Far away, inside an Earth military ship in orbit, red dots appeared on a map. "Cade has gone rogue. Send a recovery team, and if the girl mutates, terminate both." But deep underground, inside that old rusty truck, something else was happening. The alien girl's heartbeat matched Cade's. Her DNA was rewriting, and her body was preparing, not just to survive, but to bond. And when she woke up again, nothing would ever be the same. The sun had not yet risen, but the sky was glowing with a dull red hue, like it knew something dangerous was waking up. Cade sat against the wall of the half-buried truck, rifle on his lap, eyes heavy with sleep. He had stayed awake all night. He didn't dare close his eyes, not while she was still changing. The alien girl lay wrapped in a heat blanket, her breathing soft, her glowing skin now dim. But Cade knew better. This was the calm before the storm. Then, without warning, her eyes shot open. Not slow, not gentle, sharp, focused, indifferent. She didn't look scared anymore. She looked aware. She rose from the blanket like something reborn. Her movements were smooth, quiet, graceful. Her body had fully adapted now. She looked stronger, taller, her eyes brighter than before, almost like mirrors, catching starlight. Cade didn't move. She turned her head and looked at him. Their eyes met, and in that one moment, he felt something snap inside his chest. It wasn't fear. It wasn't pity. It was something electric. Something personal. She crawled closer. Not like a predator, like someone curious. Her hand reached out and touched his boot. Cade froze. She tilted her head. "Why do I feel this?" she whispered, her voice soft and alien, like a song underwater. Cade's heart jumped. She could speak now? "You understand me?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "I didn't before. But now, something inside me changed. I hear your language." Inside my head, Cade stared. That wasn't part of the serum's purpose. The serum wasn't made to teach. It was made to control, to amplify, to awaken deep biological urges tied to rage or attachment. And maybe now, something else. She moved even closer. Her face was only inches from his. "I feel strange," she whispered. "My body is drawn to you. My breath matches yours. My hands shake when I touch you." "What is this?" Cade swallowed. "The serum. It affects emotions, maybe instincts. It wasn't made for your kind." Her fingers reached up and brushed his chest, just above his heart. "But this is real. You are real." He gently grabbed her wrist and moved it down. "I don't want to hurt you. And I don't want you to mistake this feeling. It might not be real. It might be chemical." She smiled slightly. "That may be true. But why does your touch calm the fire inside me?" Before he could answer, a faint rumble echoed outside. They both froze. Boots, vehicles, drones, the Earth military had arrived. "They're here," Cade muttered. He grabbed his bag, stuffed in rations, gear, tools. He looked at her. "We have to move." She didn't ask why. She simply followed. But as they climbed out of the truck, her legs shook. Not from fear, but from the burning inside. The serum hadn't left her body. It was still building, still spreading. And it was still locking onto one thing, Cade. They ran across the rocky field toward the old canyon ridge. Cade had a hidden cave near the edge, just in case. He never thought he'd use it for this. As they moved, the alien girl's movements became sharper, faster. She was evolving in real time. But with every mile, her hands kept reaching for Cade. A shoulder touch, a graze on his arm, a glance that lingered too long. Cade finally stopped. He turned to her. "You have to control this," he said. "They're hunting us. You can't let the serum take over. You're stronger than it." Her lips trembled. "I don't know who I am anymore, but when I'm near you, I feel like someone." He didn't know what to say, because deep down, he felt the same. Suddenly, a high-pitched drone flew overhead. A voice shouted from a speaker. "Step away from the alien. Soldier Cade. She is classified as unstable. Surrender her now." She grabbed his hand tightly. "No," she whispered. "Don't leave me." He looked into her glowing eyes, then turned away from the drone. And ran. Together. Somewhere deep inside her, beneath the glow, beneath the serum, beneath the fear, something had formed. A bond. Not artificial. Not forced, but something the serum could not create or break. And that was what made her dangerous. Not her power, but her choice. Wind rushed past their faces as Cade and the alien girl sprinted through the narrow canyon trail. Dust kicked up behind them, and the sound of drone wings buzzed high above. Closer now. The girl's bare feet touched the ground like she was floating. Her eyes scanned every rock, every sound, every breath Cade took. She wasn't just running with him, she was sinking with him, back at command, Inside a steel control room orbiting the planet, a cold voice echoed through the speakers. Target is adapting too fast. The serum is accelerating. Authorized drone strike unless the soldier hands her over now. No, another voice said sharply. We watch first. She's still learning. And if she bonds to the soldier, we study that. Don't break it yet. Cade didn't know he was being watched. He just knew they were being hunted. He glanced at the alien girl beside him. Her glowing skin now pulsed with light like a beating heart. She wasn't the fragile creature he rescued from the lab anymore. She looked like a weapon wrapped in silk. And the more time she spent near him, the more dangerous she became, not just to others, but to herself. They reached the hidden cave beneath a rock shelf. Cade pulled a piece of camouflage cloth across the entrance, then helped her inside. She collapsed against the wall, breath hot and fast, hands shaking. Cade kneeled beside her. Are you okay? She didn't answer. Her fingers gripped her chest, her lips parted. A faint sound escaped, part growl, part whisper. I can't cool down, she said softly. Every second, I feel more. Not just pain, want, need, pull. To you, why? Cade looked away. Because the serum was never meant for your kind. It reacts with your mind, your instincts. It's bonding you to the first human you connected with me. She stared at him, confused. But it feels real. That's the danger, Cade said. It feels real, but is it? Suddenly, she moved toward him closer than before. Her face only inches away. Her hands gently cupped his. Her voice dropped to a whisper, even if it's not real. I still want to feel it. Cade's breath caught. His heart beat loud in his ears. But before he could answer, boom! A sonic blast hit the canyon wall outside. The cave shook. Rocks fell. From the ceiling, Cade pulled her close, shielding her body with his dot outside. Soldiers dropped from skyships, 6, then 10. Then more, all in black armor, weapons glowing, eyes hidden behind red visors. Targets confirmed, one said into the comms. Move in. Orders, retrieve the girl alive, the soldier optional. Inside the cave, Cade cursed under his breath. They had found them. He grabbed the alien girl's hand. We have to go. Now. She stood up fast, but her body burned hotter than ever. The heat radiating off her skin made the air shimmer. Her voice trembled. They want to separate us. They won't, Cade growled. I won't let them. As they slipped out the back tunnel, a flash of red light lit the canyon. A heat-seeking round flew past them and slammed into a cliff. The blast threw them forward. Cade rolled, pulling the girl into his arms, landing behind a boulder. He fired. Back quick, sharp shots buying them seconds. But the enemy wasn't afraid of bullets. They wanted the girl, and they were closing in. The alien girl looked up at Cade, her eyes glowing so bright they lit the dust in the air. If I let go, she whispered, if I let the serum take full control, I can fight. Cade's heart stopped. What happens if you do? I don't know. I might become something else. Something unstoppable. He grabbed her face gently, looking deep into her silver eyes. No, you fight it. Stay you, please. She closed her eyes, breathed deeply, and held onto his hand. I trust you, she said. Then turned around and walked straight toward the soldiers. They raised their guns. She raised her hand. The energy wave that exploded from her palm sent 6 men flying without touching them. Her body pulsed with power, but her eyes remained soft. Focused, she wasn't attacking to kill. She was defending what she had chosen to protect. Cade behind her. Cade watched in awe. She didn't look like a victim anymore. She didn't even look like a weapon. She looked like a protector, and he realized something terrifying and beautiful at the same time. She was not just reacting to the serum anymore. She was choosing this path, not because of the drug in her blood, but because of the bond forming in her heart. They didn't stop running until the twin moons rose high over the horizon. Cade guided the alien girl through a forgotten trench system once used for training, now buried beneath sand and silence. At the end of the tunnel was a sealed door with a rusted keypad. He typed in a long, old code. Click. The door opened with a creak. Inside was a hidden room full of dust, crates, and flickering lights. An old survival shelter, abandoned by command years ago. The alien girl stepped inside slowly. Her feet touched the metal floor softly. Her glowing skin cast faint light on the walls. The energy in her had cooled, but her body was still warm, too warm. She sat down, breathing heavily. Cade dropped his bag and locked the door behind them. They were safe for now. He turned to her. "How do you feel?" She looked up at him. Tired. Confused. "I feel like part of me is still changing. Like my old self is fighting something new inside." Cade nodded. "You're not alone." She tilted her head. "But I am. My people are gone. My planet's gone. Only this burning inside me remains." Cade didn't speak. Instead, he opened a crate in the corner. Inside were old data drives, confidential logs from early Serum experiments. He placed one in a small terminal on the wall and started playing the files. A cold voice crackled through the speaker. "Test Subject 12. Alien species, unknown. Reaction to serum. Increased strength, heat, emotional bonding. Subject showed signs of imprinting on nearest human handler." Cade's jaw clenched. The girl stared at the speaker, eyes wide. "When left alone, Subject 12 became violent. When the handler returned, Subject calmed. Serum appears to trigger emotional dependency, not just physical enhancement." She whispered, "They did this before?" Cade looked at her. "Yes, they lied to us. This wasn't just a super soldier drug. It was a control tool. A weapon that attaches to the heart." Her fingers clenched the ground. Her voice shook. "So my feelings, they're not mine." Cade stepped closer. "I don't know. But you're more than the drug in your veins. I've seen it. You're making your own choices." She looked up at him, eyes shimmering. "But what if I'm just a tool? Pretending to love freedom?" Cade kneeled in front of her. "No," he said softly. "You saved me. You held back your power. You didn't destroy those soldiers. You protected. That wasn't the serum. That was you." She trembled, not from fear, but from the storm inside. "I want to believe that," she whispered. "But every time I breathe near you, I want more, closer, deeper. My body calls to yours. I don't know how to stop it." Cade's throat tightened. He wanted her to stop suffering, but he didn't want to lie. So he told the truth. "You don't have to stop it. You just have to own it." She leaned forward, slow, careful, and placed her forehead gently against his. "I don't know what I am anymore," she whispered. He closed his eyes. "You're not a weapon." He touched her hand. "You're not a mistake." His voice dropped lower. "You're just someone looking for a place to belong." Suddenly, an alarm flashed on the wall screen. A red dot blinked, not from outside, from above. Cade tapped the screen. A live feed opened. A stealth drone was watching them, even now. "Even here." The voice of command echoed again. "We see you. The bond has formed. Prepare for final containment. If the subject resists, terminate both." The girl stood up slowly. Her glow brightened, but something in her face changed. She wasn't afraid anymore. She wasn't confused. She looked ready. "I'm not their test," she said softly. "I'm not their pet." Her voice sharpened. "I choose who I protect. I choose you." Cade stood beside her. For the first time. They weren't running. They weren't hiding. They were standing. Together. Not soldier and subject, but something else. Something stronger. Something the serum didn't plan for. Outside, the skies roared. The final team was coming, but they had no idea what was waiting for them now. Not an alien girl controlled by human drugs, but a woman who had taken the weapon inside her and turned it into will. The air in the shelter felt heavier than before. The walls didn't shake, but something inside both of them did. Cade stood by the locked door, listening to the approaching storm of engines above ground. Soldiers, drones, machines, built for control. He turned slowly. The alien girl stood in the center of the room, glowing faintly. Her body was calm, but her eyes were not. They burned, not with rage, but with a question she didn't know how to ask. "Your heartbeat," she said quietly. "It changes when I step closer." Cade nodded. "That's normal." She stepped forward. "It speeds up when I talk. Another step when I look at you. Another step when I touch you." She reached for his hand. He froze. The moment her skin brushed his, a pulse ran up his spine. It wasn't fear. It was something far more dangerous. Desire. "I don't know if it's the serum," she said, her voice soft like falling ash. "But every time I look at you, my body pulls toward you. Not for power, not for protection, for something I don't understand." She placed his hand against her heart. "It hurts to want and not know if it's real." Cade pulled his hand back gently. "I want to trust what's building between us." "I really do," he said. "But this, whatever it is, came after the serum. That means it might not be true." Tears shimmered in her eyes. "But it feels true. It feels more real than anything I've ever known." He looked down. "I've been trained to follow logic, orders, proof. But when I'm around you—" He paused. "I forget all of it." She leaned forward. Her lips were close now, too close. "If you asked me right now," she whispered, "to give you everything I am, I would." Without hesitation. Cade's eyes darkened. "That's what scares me." She blinked, confused. "Why?" "Because I don't want your love if it's forced." Silence hung between them. Then she stepped back. The light on her skin dimmed. She sat down, curled up, and stared at the floor. "Then I'll wait," she whispered, "until my thoughts are mine. Until my body burns because of me. Not because of them." Cade's chest ached. That strength, that control, that choice. It wasn't from the serum. It was her. Then the floor shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Red warning lights blinked on the console. Cade turned and checked the screen. "Drop teams are landing. 3 of them. Sealed suits. Gas units. Non-lethal. Weapons. They're not trying to kill us this time. They want us alive." The girl looked up. Her face had changed again, calm, sharp, no longer filled with longing, only purpose. "I won't go with them," she said. "They'll try to tear me away from you." Cade checked his rifle. "They won't succeed." But she stepped forward and placed her hand over his weapon. "No, you're not fighting them," he stared. "Then what are you going to do?" She looked toward the metal door, eyes glowing like stars. "I'll let them see what they created and regret it." Outside, the soldiers closed in. Inside, the girl stood tall, her body glowing brighter than ever. The room shimmered with her energy. The walls pulsed like they were alive. Even the air began to vibrate. Cade stepped back. "Wait, what are you doing?" Her voice echoed, layered with something ancient. "I'm not holding back anymore." From her hands, light poured out, blue, silver, and white. It shot through the cracks in the door and into the night. Outside, drones short-circuited. Soldiers dropped to the ground, stunned. Inside, she closed her eyes and whispered, "This was never about the serum. It was never about desire. It was about freedom." Her power wasn't rage. It was will. And she had chosen it, not because of Cade. But for herself. And for the first time, she truly felt alive. The world outside was silent, but only for a moment. Then the sky cracked open. A blinding beam of light shot down from the orbiting command ship, turning night into day. Dust blew across the ground like a wave. Drones fell. Soldiers scrambled. The Earth military had stopped waiting. This was no longer a recovery mission. It was containment, and Cade and the alien girl were marked as threats. Inside the bunker, Cade stared at the screen. His hand hovered over the emergency trigger, a one-time teleport beacon that would lift him into orbit. A guaranteed escape, but only for one. Just one. He looked at her. She stood in the center of the room, arms loose at her sides, glowing brighter than ever. Her skin shimmered like crystal. Her body was calm, but her eyes were steady. No fear. No confusion. No pain. Just truth. I feel everything now, she said softly. The serum is almost gone, burning out like a dying star. But what's left? She touched her chest. It's mine. The heat, the connection, the choice. All of it. Cade stepped toward her. You're sure? She nodded. When the bond was chemical, it was wild, heavy, confusing. But now, I feel something else, not like fire. She smiled gently, like gravity. Cade's breath caught. He saw her now not as a test subject, not as an alien girl caught in a human experiment, but as someone becoming, someone strong enough to choose who she wanted to be, and who she wanted to protect. The metal door exploded behind them. Flashes of light. Boots pounding. Voices yelling, target located. Do not let them touch. If she bonds again, we lose control. Too late. She turned toward the door, and this time, she didn't glow. She shone. Energy pulsed from her chest, not as an attack but as a shield. It spread in a wave, forming a sphere around the room. The soldiers ran straight into it, only to fall, weapons fried, minds blank, vision white. Cade shielded his eyes. When the light faded, every soldier outside the shelter was unconscious. Still breathing, still alive, but powerless. She dropped to one knee, breathing hard, sweating, glowing faint now. Cade, she whispered. He rushed to her, holding her up. You did it. You stopped them. She smiled weakly. I didn't destroy. I just disconnected their control, like I did with mine. Then her body went limp in his arms. Her glow flickered and vanished. No, stay with me, Cade said, cradling her head. He checked her pulse. It was fading. The serum had burned too fast inside her. And now that it was gone, so was her strength. He activated the emergency beacon. The roof split open. Light poured in. The signal locked on. He looked down at her. She opened her eyes one last time. I chose you, she whispered, not because of the serum, but because you saw me. Then her hand dropped. The beacon flared. But she didn't disappear alone. He held her close, and they vanished. Together. 1 week later, somewhere far from Earth's command, on a peaceful moon where the stars whispered instead of screamed, a cabin door opened. The alien girl stepped outside. Alive. Her glow was gone, but her smile was brighter than ever. Behind her, Cade followed, scarred, tired, but whole. They walked together to the edge of a cliff, looking up at the sky. No alarms. No missions. No control. Just a quiet truth. What the serum started. They finished. And now, it wasn't about science. Or war. Or orders. It was about one bond, chosen freely, and that made it real. Forever.